Good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me okay at the back? Yeah, loud and clear. Good. Okay, great. It's great to see you here today. Thank you very much for coming. And it's great to see so many familiar faces, some from my dim and distant past. So great to see you all. Thank you for coming. It's the first loyalty industry event that IG Loyalty has ever run. But we thought it was important to get everybody together to talk about a number of things that we have been working with Skift, because, as I say, this is the first event we've run, but it's the second time we've worked with our friends at Skift about a report around what's going on in loyalty. What are some of the trends? What are some of the themes that we're seeing? And we thought, having looked at the report, that it was worth sharing with all of you some of the things that were coming out. Because from where we're sitting, loyalty is becoming ever more important for businesses and consumers as well. And it's critical for us as leaders in this space that we understand what's going on. So we felt it was a good time to have a session of this type. As many of you know, IG Loyalty has a few years in this industry. Originally, we were known as Air Miles over 30 years ago. So we've been in this industry quite some time. For the early years, you might have seen us a bit of a niche product, possibly. People that were flying a lot to and fro on Concorde or Club Class or whatever. But of course, times have changed, and it has for the industry as well. Loyalty is a much bigger business and something we can all appreciate. Rewards have helped people. They've helped savvy customers through the cost of living crisis in the UK. Many of customers have changed their shopping habits on the back of the rewards they're going to get. Whatever that is, whether it's money off or whether it's saving for that well-earned break once a year. I believe that we are living through a golden age of loyalty. Why do I say that? I say that because customers are more engaged in loyalty programs than they've ever been. Lots of research shows that, which is fantastic news. Hardly a week goes by without some business launching another loyalty program. In the UK, Wagamama's was the latest last week. And that's a fantastic industry to be in. It's very much on the up. But with that comes a challenge. The research that you'll see today says 27% of people say they are members of 5 or more loyalty programs. That is a hell of a lot. Digital wallets have definitely helped. You're not walking around with lots of plastic anymore, but those wallets are still stuffed with lots of cards from every shop, every bank, every airline, every petrol station. And it's hard for customers to stay engaged with each and every one. Again, according to the research, 2/3 of people would like to subscribe to a more unified loyalty program, where the rewards are more connected, and avoid what we're terming loyalty overwhelm, which a few of you, I'm sure, can appreciate. Today's customers want convenience and they want simplicity. And loyalty schemes need to do more to help. Today, you're going to hear a bit more from the panelists here and the presentations about what we're calling consolidated currency. That's really about using a currency. Imagine it in terms of a normal currency. You're doing it, let's say, the euro, but the euro much, much bigger. One currency in many different parts of the world. So bringing different schemes under a single currency umbrella. And if you have no scheme, then adopting a currency that's recognized and understood by customers. At IG Loyalty, we pioneered this approach, particularly with 2 big airlines, Qatar Airways and Finnair. Both of these businesses use Avios as their currency. So they run their own loyalty program, but the currency they use is Avios. And they did that because it's understood and recognized. And you'll hear a little bit more about that later on. But that's also true for people that don't have, and businesses that don't have their own loyalty program, where you can get a currency that's universally recognized. And if you think about that in the UK market, people like Uber, Royal Caribbean are in that space as well. So in my view and our view, this opens up a whole series of possibilities, both for the customer and also for partners. So I'm not going to be here too long. We're going to talk about the report in a second. But before I do, I just want to flag that at the end of this, you'll be glad to know, this is probably the highlight, there's a drinks reception. And that drinks reception is sponsored by something called the Wine Flyer, which is our wine business. We started a wine business a few years back, and that wine business we run ourselves, and Jack Smith will talk about this later on. But it just shows you the power of loyalty. The reason we're running it is because customers want to collect the Avios currency, and they do that by buying wine, and they can use the currency to buy wine as well. And we're amazed how successful it's been. But the reason I mention it is, one, there is some wine later on, and two, the power of the currency itself. So thank you for coming. It's great to see you. Have a great afternoon ahead. And I'd like now to introduce Skift to talk about this. Carol, in more detail, over to you.
Thank you, Adam. I will come to any loyalty program if there's a wine program attached to it. So just, no, but I appreciate that. I'm Carolyn Crimmins. I came from the U.S. to be here today. And I'm the president of Skift. And these lights are like giving me a suntan, which I'm enjoying. Anyway, so this is 2 years in the making. We've been working with our partner, IAG Loyalty. Loyalty is exploding. I mean, the conversation, you just can't get away from it these days. But first, a little bit about Skift. I don't know how many of you know who we are and what we do. I see a shaking over the head, so that's good. But for those of you who don't, we've been known as the daily homepage of the industry, the travel industry, that is. Our editors, our journalists, our strategists are all, combing the market globally, getting the news, and really making sense of it all for the travel executives who really need to understand not only what's happening today, but also what's going to happen tomorrow. So we have one foot in today in terms of our reporting, and the other foot into the insights, so we can help forecast and help executives travel-proof their businesses. We also bring this content to life through events. We do events in the US, we do it in the Middle East. We launched in India this year, and next year we're also going to go into Southeast Asia. But we also do some of these more focused events like we're doing today. And this one we've done in collaboration with IAG Loyalty. And like Adam talked about, and I said in the opening, is that I've never heard more conversation about loyalty than I do today. Like 5 years ago, people were talking about it a little bit, but now, 3 weeks ago, we had our event in New York. Every major executive was talking about their loyalty programs. And the reason is because loyalty means business, it's smart business, and obviously, financially, it pays off on the bottom line. It used to be so simple, right, in the early 1980s when travel loyalty brands launched, with the first airline. And if you took that airline and you accrued points, you got to redeem them, and it was a good thing. You were engaged with that brand. And then hotels started to do that. I think one of the things that IAG Loyalty has done so beautifully, and really has been a pioneer in that they understand what consumers want, that it's more than just one time a year or 2 times a year that you get on a plane and then you get rewarded for it, but understanding what consumers want when they are thinking about where they're going to shop, whether it be their daily groceries or going out to dinner, or in this case, buying some wine. But having this kind of connected program keeps consumers engaged. You know that. This is your business. But it also is really, really good for, continuing that deep, deep loyalty that everyone is after. What are the few things that we know? We know that consumers want it to be easy, right? They want the flexibility to use their points wherever they want to use it and whenever they want to use it. And they also want to know that they can redeem it, that you don't need to have a master's degree to figure out how to use those points, right? So that's something that we are going to talk about today. I'm happy to say that we are here with a few of our Skift executives, but you'll hear from Darren Free, one of our Skift editors, who has worked really closely with IAG Loyalty on putting together research and insights, and we've come out with a report. We have some updates, and without further ado, I'm going to stop talking, and I'm going to turn it over to Darren, who can share a little bit more about some of the things that we learned. So I hope you have a great afternoon, and I hope to get to meet many of you at the cocktail hour. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please welcome SkiftX Senior Branded Content Editor, Darren Free.
Hello, everyone. It's so great to be here with you this afternoon. I also came all the way from the United States. I'm an editor at Skift, and as Carolyn mentioned, this past year we worked on a report all about how brands are deepening their connections with customers. And then just last week, we published the results of a new survey that showed how people are viewing currency consolidation, so consumers and business leaders. So today, I'd like to share with you some highlights from those reports and kind of set the stage for our panel discussions to come. As Adam mentioned, we are living in a golden age of loyalty. I don't know if you wake up every morning and think, this is a golden age of loyalty. It certainly is in this room. It's beautiful. But I really think it's true. Advancements in technology, data analysis, and customer-focused marketing strategies are really enabling companies to deliver value across the entire consumer life cycle. And they're helping customer retention in a world where everyone is competing for their attention. So in this world of this golden age of loyalty, of course, the business case for loyalty is stronger than ever. This chart shows the growth in the valuation of airline programs, with the airlines from IAG Loyalty that are powered by the Avios currency sort of towering above the rest. Loyalty programs have evolved from basic retention tools to become key assets that boost profitability and sales. Which age groups are sort of powering this big transformation? It's really younger travelers. We're seeing, this is the latest Skift research showing that younger age groups are the most frequent users of loyalty programs. Gen Z and millennials are much more likely to subscribe to loyalty programs than older generations. And that engagement is due to, personalized experiences, their preferences for seamless digital interactions, and discounts as well. So younger travelers also, prefer a more diverse array of brands. Gen Z and millennials interact with about almost 2 times as many brands as older generations, and they transact with about 1.3 times as many brands. So if it's not about brand, full brand allegiance, and they're sort of allied with a bunch of different brands, what is sort of driving loyalty subscriptions today? Well, according to the latest research from Skift, loyalty program subscribers are seeking perks beyond mere brand association. So the top 3 reasons that people subscribe to loyalty programs, this is in the travel space, are discounted travel opportunities, exclusive access to premium services, and the third, earning and redeeming points. So you can see that brand loyalty is all the way at the bottom. Only 9% cited brand loyalty as the primary reason for signing up to loyalty programs. So this ease of use, this discounts, they also power programs beyond travel. So take this incredibly popular Starbucks rewards program. What makes it so successful? Well, coffee, yes. That's the one thing. But one thing that makes it successful is their system. Their loyalty system is very simple to use, easy to understand, and incredibly rewarding. And they make it fun. They make it fun to redeem and earn points. And this is really what modern loyalty looks like today. It's a combination of ease of use and emotional connection. That emotional connection component is really important. because when people feel emotionally connected to your brand, they're much more likely to engage. This survey from Capgemini shows that 70% of emotionally engaged consumers spend more on brands that they are loyal to. In our report that we worked on earlier this year, emotional connection was one of the big 3 pillars that we focused on. So it was emotional connection, ease of use, and the third, the one that ties it all together, is currency consolidation. So these are the just released, stats from a survey that was conducted to understand the importance of currency consolidation. There were 2 surveys, one focused on about 2,000 UK subscribers, or consumers, sorry. The other focused on about 500 business leaders. So first, the consumer results. So, as Adam mentioned, as Carolyn mentioned, people are overwhelmed by the sheer number of loyalty programs. 65% of respondents are members of 3 or more. And to Adam's point, 27% are members of 5 or more loyalty programs. It's just a lot to juggle. How can we help this situation? Well, according to Adam, consolidating into a unified currency simplifies the process for consumers who can't realistically manage different programs. And consumers agree with this. 67% say that they would prefer if loyalty program currencies were combined or consolidated. And 4 in 10 said that they would be more loyal to brands with consolidated currencies. When we isolate Gen Z responses, that number actually rose up to 48%, so nearly half of customers said they'd be more loyal to brands with consolidated currencies. That reflects their desire, for simplicity and flexibility, as Carolyn was talking about earlier. When it comes to flexibility, 74% of consumers said they want more flexibility in how they collect loyalty points, and 76% said they want more flexibility in how they spend loyalty points. So brands need to offer a diverse array of collection opportunities to stay on top of these consumer expectations. When it comes to business leaders, let's look at what they said. Most business leaders, in fact, underestimate consumer demand for consolidated currencies. This perception gap suggests that they may be missing out on opportunities to fully engage their customer base by not offering consolidated currency. At the same time, most business leaders did seem to acknowledge that consolidated currency, or that loyalty programs that are currently out in the market may need to change. They may not be meeting customer needs at the moment. In fact, 71% of leaders said that loyalty programs will change over the next 2 years, anticipating a rise in interconnected loyalty networks. Key to all of that is currency consolidation. So in our sessions today, these are some of the key questions. We'll have many more that we want to ask. So first, how can businesses better align their loyalty programs with demand for simplicity and flexibility? What are the most key benefits of consolidated currency? And then how can brands ensure that by consolidating loyalty currencies, they aren't diluting their brand? So again, we'll be answering these and many more questions. But the bottom line is that when you have a rewards program that's easy to use, emotionally engaging, with a unified currency that sort of ties everything together, you have a really strong foundation for long-term engagement and growth. And you might even call it a golden age. So if you'd like to read these reports, you can scan the QR code here, and it will take you to a landing page with all of the great work that we've done with IAG Loyalty. Thanks, everyone.